All right, here we go. Hello, everyone. Soul Commodore back at you again with some more charcoal drawing. I did take a little bit of time off. Just had a couple of bad mental health days. Not so much. It was someone at work is currently going through kind of a grief journey over the passing of their mother, and it just conjured up a lot of emotions and memories of, like, losing my mom years ago. So I just had to take some time to myself, kind of like refocus, center myself. And then yeah, my wife has been doing new training through work. So she's been in the office every single day this week. And so I haven't been able to see her as much as I usually do. So I just wanted to take some time to hang out with her and just have a good time. So, but we're here now, and we're gonna do some more work on this drawing here. Today we're going to actually start filling in the charcoal, and the easiest thing to do, because charcoal does smear, is we're gonna move left to right from the left side of the paint or drawing. This isn't a painting. The left side of the drawing over to the right. So that's what we're going to work on today. So with that, let me just pull up the pictures that I'm going to be drawing from, the pictures that I took that I'm using as reference photos. I'm going to open Photoscape so that I can black and white, and then we'll get started. Would you like to open, please? That'd be wonderful. Computers never do what you want them to do. I mean, they do, but there we go. It took a quick minute, but we got there. Now I'm just gonna move it over to my big screen here. Gonna make that a nice black and white. There we go. All right, let's start filling this in, shall we? I hope y'all are having a good week so far. Hope it hasn't been too stressful for you or anything like that. Let me move this camera this way a bit so that you get less of me in the shot. Okay, there we go. So in this picture, this is the figure that's going to have their face abstracted, which is a thing that is part of this series. Or I might as well start filling in the details on the ear. Yeah, just took some time off, and now we're back. And we don't usually stream on Fridays, but because I postponed the stream yesterday till today, so that y'all could have something from me, you know. Now, for this, it's going to be a little interesting because I don't quite know exactly how I want the abstraction to go in this one. But I think it's going to be mostly centered here. So I think we draw up to this point. Yeah. I think that's the smart thing to do. And I think actually it'd be smarter to actually start with the coat. That way I'm not, because if I come down, there's a chance that I'll probably like smear some of this down into the coat, whereas if I move up, there's less of a chance of that happening. So I think that's what I'm going to do. So I'm going to start doing this. We're finally starting to get some nice fall days where I live. Some nice, cool, chilly days. Not everybody in my family, in my inner circle, are particularly happy about that, but I'm happy about it because I love cooler weather personally. Plus, we're finally moving out of my seasonal allergy season, you know, which also makes it very nice for me because I don't have to worry about sneezing every single time I go outside, you know. Now we're gonna come up against all these little separate things where the zipper is. So we're just gonna take our time. Like so. And do this first part and then we'll move down. I also find that this type of weather is more conducive to like, you know, like the low key, like lo-fi vibey type music. Because it's kind of music that you just want to kind of be inside and just kind of chill with, you know? At least that's how I feel about it. But I know that it's all different strokes for different folks. I know some people really loathe when the weather gets colder. And a big part of that too is a lot of people have the seasonal affective disorder. I'm very blessed in that I don't suffer from that. Um, Cold weather and cloudy days don't make me don't affect my mental health at all. Which again, I am very fortunate that that's not the case with me, because I know it's the case for a lot of people, and I feel for them. And I am cognizant that this time of year can be difficult for a lot of people who struggle with that. I had a classmate back in university who really struggled with that. Cold weather, the lack of sun, all the doesn't make for a very nice time in terms of their mental health. You know, so I try to remain cognizant of that when I'm talking about how much I love cold weather, how much I love like the fall and winter and all that, because I know this time of year can really be a struggle for some. Here to the zipper. Throwing this in. We're gonna put some charcoal on the sleeve there. Need a slightly sharper edge. Do some of these details. Down the jacket, like so. Go. And I know that this just kind of looks like pretty how does the shadow work on those? I see. This looks like pretty rudimentary shading and all that kind of stuff, but don't you worry. We're gonna open this up in just a minute. First, though, I do need to get in here with an eraser and erase out some of this charcoal that landed on the zippers. There we go. Now we'll come up here and start adding the top part. Just like so. There we go. Now we'll put in some of the darker parts over here. Parts that are a little bit more shaded, more shrouded in shadow, if you will. We're going to start doing some of the shading on the shirt as we come across. On the shirt and the neck. Oh, I think my wife just got home from work. There we are. So now that we've got most of the darker spots on the neck done, now I'm gonna start doing the shirt. First, stop there, and then here, just above the button, come across. I'll finish up putting in these dark spots, and then I'm gonna take not a break, but I'm just gonna step away for a second to say hello to my wife. Yo, L, thank you for the raid. I was finna raid you actually. How was your stream? I see you were playing Ace Attorney. Nice shout out. But yeah, welcome on in everybody. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Soul Commodore. I am an artist, and we're doing some art today. It was good. You finished the game. Ah, very nice, very nice. I'm glad you love it. I'm glad you love it. No, good to see everybody. It was nice to share it with everyone. Yeah, that's a good feeling when you get to share your favorite games. It's why I love playing Paper Mario. It's why I love playing, all the games that I play. And it's nice to share that love, But yeah, welcome on in, everyone. If you have to step away, please feel free to. If you got stuff that you got to do, I just appreciate the love, and I appreciate seeing everybody. With that being said, I'm gonna step away for just a second because my wife just got home from work, and I just want to say hi to her. And then we'll come back here and continue working on this. So I will be right back. I'm not gonna go to like a be right back screen or anything. I'll just keep it on on this jacket. I will tell her the internet says hi too. All right, I'll be right back, everyone. Let me center this a little bit more. There you go. Be back in a couple minutes. Hello, everyone. I'm back. My my wife says hello to you all as well. Now, where was I? Right, the shirt. Ah. But hope you all are having a good day so far. Hope your day wasn't too strenuous before the weekend hits. I know for some busy Fridays are sometimes the worst, but hope you all are well and healthy and as happy as you can be. Jacket looks cool. Thank you. This is a jacket that is currently in my trunk because it is my emergency jacket now. It's very fuzzy. It's very heavy. It's a very heavy, fuzzy jacket. Like the fabrics, it's nice and warm. The only reason why I stopped wearing it is because I think I got gifted another jacket that I liked a little bit better. So this one kind of went on the back burner, but it is now, like I said, in my trunk as an emergency jacket. In case you get stranded somewhere and it's cold and your heat goes out, you know? So that's where this jacket is. Maybe I'll bust it out on stream someday. But it is a nice jacket. I'm only punk in emergencies. Well, it's funny because it looks like the way because I haven't finished shading it. It does kind of look like a leather jacket, but it isn't a leather jacket. The fabric is it's more fuzzy. No, I used to wear leather jackets all the time when I was in elementary school, or not elementary school, in high school. I had a couple leather jackets in high school, and by leather I mean pleather because you know. They were pleather jackets, but I would wear those. I would wear like old-timey suit jackets too. Like I had like a cream colored one that I would wear from time to time. And like I would wear like a butterfly collar with it. Ooh, boo. Yeah. Yeah. But yeah, then I kind of stopped doing that in the latter half of high school. I just had some regular coats, but Every once and again, I miss those jackets. They weren't very warm, I will say that, and that probably played a part in why I stopped wearing them as often. They weren't very warm jackets. But now I'm just working on the pleather is way worse for the environment than leather. Leather is a byproduct of the meat industry, so they're not just offing cows for cool coats. That's fair. It wasn't so much that I wasn't wearing leather jackets because of like environmental reasons or anything like that. I just couldn't afford leather jackets, so so I had access to pleather ones. So those are the ones I bought. Honestly, the two pleather jackets that I'm thinking I got at secondhand stores. Now that I think about it, like I didn't buy them new. But yeah, it was more of an economical reason. Yours were all hand-me-downs, vintage, weird. Should I attained on the free? Yeah, those are. That's yeah, that's the way to do it. That's the way to do it. Good old thrifting and hand-me-downs. That's one of the thing that kind of sucks about getting older is you get less hand-me-downs. I remember when I was younger, my one of my aunts would always come over because her kids were older. Um, well, just about all the kids on my mom's side of the family were older than us because my mom was the youngest of her siblings. But come over with just bags of clothes for like me and my younger brother, um, and my younger sister too, as hand-me-downs. You know, I kind of miss that. You know. Actually, it was kind of nice. The wedding that I officiated a couple of weekends ago, um, because the bride and groom are friends of ours. The groom unfortunately lost his grandfather right around this time last year, um, but I was honored with the opportunity to wear his grandfather's jacket um, at the wedding. You know, as kind of a representation of him still being there. You know, it was really nice. And now it's just mine to wear, mine to use. It's a nice jacket. Vintage. It's made well, comfy. It is a little bit. It is a little bit tight on me, but with the plans that I have for the upcoming months, it'll definitely loosen up. Yeah, it was because it was nice of them because they gave it to my buddy. Like his grandmother gave it to him, and he didn't fit in them. He was too tall for the jackets, so he offered them to me, and I tried them on, and they fit. So I was very very honored. They also gave me a jacket of his, like a winter jacket. That's exactly the same as the winter jacket that I already have. And I was like, hey, beautiful. Now, if this old jacket wears out, I've got this new one, you know? The speaking of jacket, because I got that jacket, the one that was mine, I got it at Sport Check years ago when I worked there, because we got the employee discounts and all that. And I remember very distinctly I got that, and I also got like a spring jacket um, at the same time. And I remember one day at close, I was looking for my jacket because I just bought it, right? And I was planning on wearing it that night. Some dummy who worked there, that dummy being me, put the jacket back on the rack after I bought it. I don't know why I did it. I just wasn't thinking. So I had to hold everybody up and be like, "All right, hold on, everybody. I gotta find my jacket." I did eventually find it. Like it didn't take very long because I knew where they were hung. But man, the other people closing with me weren't too pleased that they had to wait a couple extra minutes while I tried to find this thing. They helped out, but I mean they wanted to just go home, you know. I don't blame them. I also just wanted to go home, but I also needed my jacket, you know. It was cold outside. There is part of me because that Sport Check isn't in that particular mall anymore. It closed, which is part of the reason why I switched jobs. Um, there is part of me that like if I'm at that mall at night and I'm walking back out to my car, there's part of me that gets nostalgic about it because I did that walk so many times because I worked a lot more closes than I did opens. And there's a part of me that's like nostalgic for it, you know? Yeah, I'm gonna need the sharper thing here because these lines are gonna come right across. I remember one night I was closing and actually it's one of the friends that got married. She worked there with me, right? Um, she worked at Sport Tech with me, and I remember one night I was closing with her, and I was planning on driving back to Chatham that night. Um, and it was a night probably in I think November or whatever because I liked going down at least once a month to visit my dad and you know whoever else might be around. Um, and I remember I was telling her that I was getting ready to leave. Actually, I wasn't closing. I finished at like 8 p.m. And I had to stop off at my cousin's house first to grab some stuff to go because I didn't bring it with me to work. I wasn't leaving straight from work. And I remember her saying to me, like, I was telling her that I was leaving, and I remember she got real serious. Which, uh, if you know her, like, she doesn't get very serious that often, right? And I remember she got real serious and real stern and was like, "Drive safe tonight," because she knew it was like a 4 hour, 3.5, 4 hour drive. And I was like, "Oh yeah, no, I'll drive. I'll drive safe." But I couldn't figure out what that, why she got so serious all of a sudden, until I walked outside and realized that it had started snowing. And it wasn't supposed to snow that night, or at least I thought it hadn't, because I checked the weather the night before. Didn't bother to check in the morning or before work or anything, like a sensible person would. Um, so I drive my cousins, and the snow had started coming down to the point where I was like, should I wait and then drive down tomorrow? you know. But then I was like, well, then I'll get less time to hang out with my dad and everything because I'm gonna have to be back at work, you know. Um, so I'll still go tonight. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. Famous last words, right? It'll be fine. Let me tell you, that was the most white knuckle. Like I don't have too many experiences with like straight up white knuckle driving. That was white knuckle driving. I was like, oh my god, because about halfway through the drive, once you got past Toronto, past Mississauga and everything, the snow that was falling became sleet. And what if people who don't know, sleet is a mix of rain and snow. Um, you know, not to be confused with freezing rain. Um, thankfully it wasn't freezing rain. If it was freezing rain, I wasn't going anywhere that night. Um, I was just driving back to my cousins and like staying. Exactly, the slush is just slide city. I was hydroplaning so bad, and part of the reason I was white knuckling is because I was in the center lane. Because in the center lane, I wasn't hydroplaning as much. Um, you got candy corn emotes because Twitch was like, "Here you go." Oh, because of Halloween and everything, I guess. But that's funny. Um, but yeah, I was in the center lane because I wasn't hydroplaning as much in the center lane as you were in the left or right lanes. But I was also like driving below the speed limit because of the conditions, right? I love candy corn, so I'm not mad. I'm just confused. I love candy corn too. My wife loves candy corn. She loves the mellow cream pumpkins too. I like them too. Uh, they're great. I think my sister likes candy corn as well. Um, Definitely an acquired taste for some, but man, I love it. I eat too much of it probably. But yeah, no, I was really white knuckling because I'm in the center lane trying not to hydroplane, and I'm going below the speed limit because the conditions are so terrible. And on both the right and left side of me, 18 wheeler trucks are just zooming past me because they've got deadlines and stuff, right? Where I live, on the highway that I was on, 18 wheelers aren't even allowed in the left lane, in the far left lane, because they can't go fast enough. They were passing me in the left lane. And I was like, that's real safe, guys, real safe. So yeah, I was white knuckling it for like, it took me, that drive usually takes me 3.5 hours if traffic is moving pretty good. And on this night, traffic would have been moving pretty good if the conditions were perfect. It took me damn near like 6 hours to get home to Chatham that night. Um, and of course, Chatham being Chatham, Chatham's like right below the snow belt in southern Ontario, which means that Chatham historically doesn't get a whole lot of snow. Sometimes Chatham just gets dumped on, but it's very few and far between. Usually you just get a light dusting. And of course, I pass on the highway, I pass the sign that says you're approaching Dutton, which is like a small little community. And as soon as I hit it, like past London, Ontario, as soon as I hit it, no snow, no rain, no precipitation, nothing. Road is dry. And of course, I get to Chatham, and Chatham hasn't had any snow yet. No snow at all. And I was like, oh, of course, of course. Your roommate brought you 6 pounds of it, because gluten-free kinds are rare. Oh, very nice, very nice. That's very nice of your roommate. That reminds me of people who buy me cinnamon hearts. They buy me a lot of cinnamon hearts because I eat a lot of cinnamon hearts. Yeah, truckers really don't give a no. They like you said, they got shit to do. The clouds ends here. It's funny. One time I was driving back from Ottawa. From I was up there for a bachelor party, and at this time I still lived in Chatham. So it was a good 8 hour drive, and on the way back, I was driving through Toronto at the same time that this major storm hit Toronto. It was so major that it made the news because the Gardiner Expressway flooded, and it was just raining like just crazy amounts of water on the streets below. Um, and like, and there was like hail and all that, and it was bad weather, bad weather. But when you got past Guelph, It was literally like you just said, El. It was literally like the clouds just ended. I mean, it was still cloudy, but it was like the clouds ended and someone just like turned off a tap because you could see it coming on the road as you were approaching it. It was a line on the pavement, like just a straight line on the pavement where it was wet and then it was dry. And you crossed that line and it just wasn't raining anymore. It was wild. That reminds me, one of my animator friends lives sort of near you and is looking for art things to do or join. So if you have things, can you send me them? Oh, of course. Of course. Most definitely. Most definitely. Well, did they have like a website or something, or because I like checking out animation. If you're able to share it. But yeah, most definitely, if I got stuff going on or I hear of any sort of like exhibition stuff going on, I'll let you know so that you can let them know. For sure, for sure. I'll send it all via Disco so you don't lose it. Thank you. Appreciate it. Appreciate it. Mr. Owl. Cool. Cool. Yeah, I will definitely keep an eye out for stuff that's happening. But yeah, I that night where I was like hydroplaning and stuff, like I never come closer to thinking that I might die out here. You know, thankfully I didn't, and I was driving safely. But I was like, man, I should have just stayed. I should have just stayed at my cousin's. I should have just stayed home. But thankfully I made it without incident. So, well, what really made me think I'm gonna die out here is those trucks that were just passing me with not a care in the world because they've got stuff to do. So, what are we looking at now? Yes, now we're just kind of looking at kind of basic shading. That shadow here, I'm gonna fill in a bit. Now we'll come up here and start doing the hair. Like I said, I don't really have to do too much out here on part of the face. So I'm really just going to come up to this line. Put in some charcoal here and there out here, but yeah, exactly, no faces. So it took a minute, but I was talking to my wife the other day how I'm starting to feel nostalgic for the apartment that we used to live in, and not so much the apartment itself, but like the times that we were there, because it kind of ended sourly with the. I'm not going to get into too many details, but it was time for us to go because the people upstairs were. You kind of got the feeling that they felt like we overstayed our welcome living in the basement. And it was time for us to go, for our own sanity. But so I didn't really feel any nostalgic for it like I had before, because my first two apartments, like almost immediately after I moved, like I still felt like a good amount of nostalgia. I can't help but notice you avoiding the things you're not too confident in drawing. Well, I've drawn plenty of faces before. Just with this series in particular, we're kind of the whole point is the abstraction of the faces. Oh, I know. I mean, you are right though. I tend to try and leave the stuff that I'm the least confident in drawing last. Salty ass portrait artist. Yeah, but I mean, you are right though. Like I said, I tend to leave the stuff that I'm least confident in until last if I can help it. Which in most of this would be faces. Like I would do the faces last. Everything else I'll do first if I can, you know. But no, you you right. You right. Um but yeah, my last two apartments, like I felt nostalgic for those like almost immediately after I moved, right? And then this one, like it took a while, but now like we're a year out and finally I'm starting to get like a little bit nostalgic for that time period. I guess because enough time has passed. That was funny though, El, because you you caught on to my little secret. I've always found faces difficult. I think it's because like when I was in school, because when you're in elementary and high school, right? When you're a gifted student, you tend to overlook a lot of stuff that will be very beneficial for you down the road. Um, and I skipped a lot of like the foundation, like just didn't pay attention at all to a lot of the foundations of like building a face and drawing a face and all that kind of stuff. Like I really didn't pay as much attention to that stuff as I should have. Um, and of course, I'm paying the price for it now. But there's also nothing stopping me because there's a bevy of information on how to do that kind of stuff better. Um, and I could very well start getting more confident in it. It's just a matter of putting the time in, which time is in short supply when you're an adult, but I could still find the time to do it. And eventually I will. I mean, I had to do it for the quiet part out loud because I couldn't. Drawing faces is one thing. Painting them, I had no idea how to do that. So I had to look up a bunch of videos and tutorials on how to do that. And it worked out okay. But I'm gonna have to paint faces and stuff for this again, so I'll have to do some more practice. I started learning a version of the Loomis method at like 10 or 11. Fair, fair. Eyebrow. I'm gonna put in like some of the dark spots, like the nostril and side of the lip where my mustache is. that's about it. That's about it. The paint will cover up the rest of it. I will finish off the beard though. Yeah. Yeah. All right. Now it is time to start blending, and I'm gonna get my piece of paper here to make sure I don't smear anything I don't want to. What do I want to use? I think I'll use this one. I always find blending very relaxing. It's probably my favorite part of charcoal drawing. The blending part. I've always loved blending stuff though. Like even like back before I used charcoal, when I would just like do like pencil drawings, and I would always like blend with my fingers. It was always my favorite part for some reason. No idea why. I want to do charcoal again, but I don't have any good paper for it or fixative. That's fair. That's fair. Yeah, because some paper just really isn't conducive to charcoal at all. And especially with like the prices of everything increasing, like it's difficult to find paper that doesn't break the bank. I really, really need fixative if I want to fuck around with a dusty, stainy medium that gets everywhere. Yes, yes, yes. Fixative is very important. Even just like workable fixative. I mean, workable fixative is actually really the only fixative I use. I don't usually use final fixative. Part of that is because if I'm displaying something, especially at like a show or something, um, I always like using workable fixative because if I find something that I screwed up or something in the piece after I deliver, I can still fix it. Whereas with final fixative, it's like that drawing's done. It's over. Workable fixative is great unless you accidentally grab the wrong can and then affix all your middle of the sketch mistakes in. In my defense, class was over and I was going to be late if I didn't go get outside and spray it and run it back in. Fair. Fair. Which is why I only ever have workable fixative. I can't remember the last time I bought final fixative because I've always been also worried about that mistake, like you said, because I did that in university with a piece and essentially just had to start the piece all over, like from the beginning, for that exact reason. It was like there was no coming back. There was no fixing it. There was no like seeing if I could salvage it. It was over. I think I just trashed mine and did a different piece. Fair. Yeah, because I mean, really, that's all you can do. That's all you can do. I will say, for those of you who may not know what we're talking about, so when you're working with a medium such as charcoal, or even I've seen people use fixative for pencil. I've seen people use it on paintings. I'm not sure I would because it can ruin the paint, but I've seen people do it. Basically, fixative is something that you put on a non-permanent medium, such as charcoal or pencil or the like, to make sure that it doesn't smear. It basically like preserves it. And there are two main kinds of fixative. There's I use it a lot in pencil. Yeah. And yeah, it's to make sure that like the piece doesn't smear or that someone doesn't accidentally like draw over top of it or something like that. Like it basically like fixes the piece in place. If you're really broke, you can use that Aquafina hairspray, but it does yellow. Yeah I've had to do that too back in the day. And there are two main types of fixative. There's workable fixative, which is what I use almost like pretty much 100% of the time. Even for the final piece, I use workable fixative. Workable fixative and final fixative. Final fixative is like you're not touching this drawing anymore, and once you spray that fixative on, you can't put any medium on top of it. Workable fixative is you spray it and it fixes what's on the piece already, but you can also go over top of it. You can like add some more charcoal. If you're working with charcoal, for instance, you can put more charcoal on top, and all that kind of stuff. Sealer in, boys, she's donezo. Yeah, so exactly. So final fixative, like Elle just said, is very final. Once that picture is sealed, like you cannot edit it at all. Which is why it's not my favorite thing to use. I'd rather use workable fixative, because if I get my piece to a gallery, say, and there's something in it that I don't particularly like or I think that I could cover up, then I'll use the charcoal to like fix it up and all that, and then everything's good. You can't do that with workable fixative. So you can imagine our dismay when you have cans of workable fixative and final fixative that look very alike, and you grab the workable, you think you're grabbing the workable fixative because you just want to seal what you've done, and it's like in the sketch stage, like over here, or you have very limited amount of like charcoal or pencil filled in, and you just want to keep it where it is, so that because you like what you've done, but you accidentally grab the final fixative and now you can't work on the piece anymore. Yeah. It's a mistake you usually only make once, and I made it twice. It's heartbreaking when you do it. And also, like, don't be, if you're interested in like using fixative or anything like that, or exploring that, do not be an idiot. Make sure you spray it under like a vent hood, or spray it outside, because it is an aerosol spray, um, that I think smells good, but I mean it's vapors, it's fumes, um, and you do not want to be breathing that stuff in. Um, and you may even, now that I'm getting older and wiser, like I'll probably start wearing masks when I spray fixative, just to make sure I don't breathe it in. But yeah, you probably want to wear a mask. Like I said, if you can spray under a vent, if you can't spray outside, try to spray under a vent hood. Um, you know, because it's not great stuff to have in your lungs. Go outside if you can at all, unless it's raining, and then don't, because it'll mess up the spray and your piece. Yeah, just put it up somewhere and fix it later. Exactly, exactly. And if you're going to spray outside, as I learned with a lot of the pieces that I did for the quiet part out loud, if it's cold outside, you may want to consider not spraying outside that day, or like I said, spraying under a vent hood, or putting it aside till later, like Elle said, because what'll happen is that the very fine particulate that comes out, will freeze on your piece, um, and you'll see a bunch of spots on your piece, which in that case kind of worked for a lot of the pieces, because it was, um, they were supposed to look like old photographs anyway that had distorted, so it kind of added to that effect. But I wasn't happy with it, because it just had a whole bunch of like pale spots on a lot of the pieces, which is not what I wanted. But thankfully, it ended up kind of working with the whole vibe of the thing. But yeah, so also like don't spray in like freezing temperatures. But in that case, like I had to spray the stuff and get it done and delivered, so I was in a rush, and I didn't even consider that that was a thing that might happen until I started spraying, and I'm like, oh, is that freezing on my piece? Oh, good. Well, I can't fix it now. Also, I know that there are some places like Michael's, that have stopped selling fixative. Don't be surprised if you want to work with fixative and you want to buy it that is probably like locked up, um, because again, it is an aerosol spray, and just like spray paint, like it tends to be locked up somewhere in the store. Um, so just be aware of that. They did that a lot with the duster stuff that I use too, to like get the eraser shavings off my pieces, like the compressed air canisters. Um, I noticed some places they start locking those up too. Not at the dollar store though. At Dollarama, they just keep it out. I guess they're less worried about it. Also, I will say this. This was when I was much younger and much dumber, when I was still in university. If you're, or no, I wasn't in university. I was younger and dumber though. This was after university because I was driving. Um, whatever you do, whatever you do, if it's raining outside and you don't want to spray inside because the people don't like the smell, and you don't want to spray inside anyway because it's an enclosed space, for the love of God, do not spray the piece in your car and then drive to the venue where you're dropping it off. Don't do that. That's probably one of the dumber things that I've done. Just wait a couple minutes and be a little bit late. Or better yet, if there's a deadline, just ask if there's any possible way that you can deliver the piece the next day. Instead of like gassing yourself in your car. Unless you're trying to get into huffing, I guess. Why did I do that? Because I'm an idiot. That's why I did it. And I was an even bigger idiot then. I did roll the windows down in the front, you know. So I didn't keep the windows closed, but yeah, it's not one of my better ideas, not one of my prouder moments. But that's why I survived, and now I can tell everyone else not to do that. You know, it's a net positive. But yeah, don't do that. 25-year-old me thought he was young and invincible. Cops pull you over. Is that workable fixative, I smell, young man? I mean, yeah, no, that could have ended disastrously, but thankfully it didn't. But yeah, like Al just said, good luck trying to explain that to a cop if you get pulled over, like what that smell is. And good luck trying to convince them that you don't huff the stuff. I did actually have a cop pull me over. Well, not pull me over. Um, for some friends of mine that lived in London, I was delivering some paintings to them from a drawing and a painting from Chatham. And I actually like the pieces were big enough that they did not fit in my car, so I had to like strap them to my roof of my car, um, like tie them down with straps and all that. And then just outside of the city, just outside of London, I thought one of them might start. I thought one of them was kind of getting loose, so I got out to like tighten it. And just about then, an officer actually pulled up behind me as I was stopped on the side of the road, and I was like, "Oh man, like what is this?" Because given my complexion, sometimes I'm a little bit wary of what police officers are going to say to me and do to me, right? So I was like, all right, just keep your cool, just keep your wits about you. Like, let's just try and get through this move. But honestly, the officer couldn't have been nicer. He was just like, um, you okay? You having any trouble? And I was like, I'm just tightening these straps. And he's like, he asked like what they were, and I said that they were drawings. They were artwork, and he was like, oh, very very cool. Well, yeah, no, this seems tightened up, and he tested them too, and was like, yeah, that seems good. Like you should be good. So, and then like I just went on my way. So he was chill, but you just never know. I was like, oh, okay, please let's just let this be. I don't want to be on the news, and I wasn't, so it was okay. Yeah, not a situation at all. I want you to be. Yeah, thankfully everything was fine. He was actually like doing his job and making sure that I was okay. Good. Cops are such a dice roll. They really are. They really are. As a lot of us already knew, and then 2020 really kind of let everybody else know too. Yeah, thanks, Sal. I appreciate it. I appreciate it. I really do. I'm glad. I'm glad that y'all enjoy the stuff that I do. It really does mean a lot. Okay, so with that, I think I think I'm gonna call it here with this figure being done. Um, let's see who's doing what. Do I have any art friends doing any art? Let's see. Twitch, can you please load? God bless it. Uh, I haven't been to Love Lichies in a while. Looks like they're doing some anime stuff, some chibi stuff in I can recognize it as you probably because I have face blindness, so I see hair more than faces. Oh, fair, fair. Well, I'm glad. I'm glad. I mean, the face is gonna be covered up anyway, so. But no, I'm glad you can recognize it as me. Gonna go clean the kitchen? Hey, well, thank you for hanging out, El, and thank you very much for the raid as well. Really do appreciate it. Really do appreciate you. Um, and yeah, thanks for watching. Thanks for chatting. Thanks for coming in while I while I do this. Um, yeah, Love Litchi is the only art friend that I have on right now, and I haven't been in their streams for a minute. So let's go say hello to them. They are non-binary. Yeah, they are non. That's what I thought. That's what I remembered. Take it easy. Love watching. Hey, thank you, El. And hopefully, like sometime soon, I'll be able to pop into one of your streams again. Um, when I get a chance, because I also love watching you work. Uh, but yeah, let's go give a little hello to Lovely G. Intended for mature audiences. Everybody be mature. But thank you everyone for coming in. I really do appreciate it. Thank you to everybody who came in with the L's raid. And yeah, next time you see me will probably be not Sunday because I got a dentist appointment. Yeah, I've got a dentist appointment. So next stream we have is we'll be working on this again on Monday. So feel free to join us then. It'll be at 6 p.m. Eastern. Tuesday, we're finally going to play Paper Mario again at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Thursday, we'll be working on art again at 6 p.m. Eastern. And then Sunday will be, well, Thursday, maybe not, because we'll probably have trick-or-treaters. So we'll see about Thursday. But, and then after that, Sunday, we'll be playing some more Undertale, like in the morning. So I hope you all have a good rest of your day. And let's go say hi to Lovelit. All right. Take it easy, everyone. Elle saying no. All right. Take it easy, y'all. Have a good one.